All right. Good morning, everyone. It's 10:30 on Monday, November 27th. I want to thank everyone for being here. Before I call the proceeding, if I could just make sure that my court reporter is ready to go. Tracy, are you good? Ready to go?
Good morning, Judge. Ready to go.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. I see Mr. Baskerville is with us and Mr. Valentine. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to call proceeding number 23A-0347CP-EXT. This is the application of MedRide. All right, today is Monday, November 27th. It is 10:30 in the morning, and we are ready for a pre-hearing conference. This is the second one we've had in this proceeding. If I could go ahead and first have appearances. First, Mr. Baskerville, if you would please state your name, spell your last name, and indicate who you are representing today.
Sure. Henry Baskerville, last name is Baskerville, on behalf of the applicant MedRide, LLC.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baskerville. Okay, Mr. Valentine, please go ahead and make your appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. From the law firm of Keys and Fox, Mark Valentine, on behalf of Intervenor Tasco, Inc.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Valentine. All right, we are here on a pre-hearing conference. This is the second one we've had in this proceeding. The first one was not attended by the applicant, and after the applicant moved to extend deadlines, I went ahead and granted that, given that the applicant was willing to waive the statutory time periods within which this decision and the commission's decision would otherwise have to issue. So without those constraints, we have a little bit more leeway as to when things will happen, and I went ahead and granted that. But we still need to reset the evidentiary hearing and establish deadlines for other procedural matters. Okay, before we get into all that, the big burning question for me, Mr. Baskerville, if I could ask you to indicate, is it's unclear to me the scope of your client's application. Are they going to just provide general shuttle service to anyone who asks, or is this just for medical rides, people who are disabled or otherwise need a ride to a medical provider?
It's just for medical rides. They have no intention of being a taxi service. Their whole business is these medical rides, and as I understand it, we would have a witness who testify about this better than I can, but they need this license in order to do certain medical rides and provide them to individuals who don't use Medicare or Medicaid, who have private insurance. I guess that's the distinction, because they now are able to do them through, there's a company that gives out the rides for people who use Medicare or Medicaid. But my client also wants to be able to do these same medical rides for people who have private insurance. And the medical rides that we're talking about are, their whole business is what they call non-emergent medical transport. So a lot of people are like, if somebody goes to dialysis every week and they need a ride there, or they're in chemotherapy and they have to go every other day or whatever, and they don't want to take an Uber, and it's not serious enough where they would take an ambulance. My client sort of fills that niche.
Got it. Thank you for that explanation. Does your client then provide those rides for Medicare patients as well, or is that a different entity altogether?
No, they do provide it for Medicare and Medicaid, but okay. there's a company, there's an entity whose name is escaping me right now, that is contracted through Medicare and Medicaid and then hands out the rides to my client and others who are competitors in that industry.
Okay, so like a distribution center.
Yeah, there's like a distribution company, okay. And I'm forgetting. But so the idea is they want to do this, as I said, for private people. And I think that part of the reason that people like to do this is that once it gets set up, they can have their insurance pay for it, as opposed to if they're riding in an Uber or a taxi. I think they would probably have to pay and then maybe seek to get reimbursed And like I said, the majority of my clients' customers are people who are doing it like every week. So it's kind of like an ongoing recurring customer that they're picking up every Monday at 10:30 and bringing that person to dialysis and then bringing them back home again.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Thank you very much. I was confused and trying to understand the scope of it, and Mr. Valentine had some questions as well. Mr. Valentine, does that answer the questions you and I discussed at the prior
Yes,
pre-hearing conference?
that's helpful to understand. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Baskerville.
You're welcome. And in fact, if that's as I understand it, Mr. Valentine's client is a taxi service. And if their concern is that we're going to be competing with them for taxi rides, that's not what we're looking to do. And they have no intention of doing that. And we can stipulate to that as needed.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm happy to talk with my clients about the application now that I more fully understand, to see if there's room for negotiation here. Happy to do that.
That all sounds great. Thank you both. It sounds like this may be one that we could resolve in the end. But in the meantime, I do want to go ahead and schedule an evidentiary hearing just so we can get on the PUC's calendar and my calendar, which are both jammed, let's just say. So, and looking ahead, it's going to have to be far down the road, I'm afraid. The week of March 18th is possible. I guess, first of all, before we start picking dates, I need to know one thing ahead of time. Are you considering or planning on just a one-day evidentiary hearing?
I think that's all that would be necessary. I've got one employee from MedRide who would explain better than I just did what the company is actually seeking. And then we're gonna get some letters from customers, and maybe we would call a customer or two about why this is something that would be valuable to them.
In Grand Junction, yeah, okay.
But I don't think our presentation of the evidence would take more than a couple hours.
Okay, great. Mr. Valentine, does that sound reasonable to you as well? Like
Yes, Your Honor. I think one day is probably right.
Okay, great. Next question. When Mr. Valentine and I previously discussed setting this, he had indicated a preference for having it in person in Grand Junction, and I can easily arrange that. Is that still your preference?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Baskerville, is that what you would like as well?
I'm in Denver, so if I had my druthers, I'd rather do it online. But if it's important, I can take a trip to Grand Junction.
Well, Mr. Valentine and I are in Denver as well, so we will all be taking a trip. But I believe it sounds like most of the witnesses are out west. At least that is very true for the interveners. Is that true for the applicant as well?
I think that my witness actually is in Denver, although the customers would be in Grand Junction or somewhere near there.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
those are the people you don't want to inconvenience. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it could be done via Zoom. I mean, I think everybody's gotten used to it enough, and I think Your Honor is more than capable to, judge someone's demeanor and so forth over Zoom. So I don't think it's necessary to go all the way out there. That would be my position.
Okay. Mr. Valentine, you want to stick with an in-person one?
Yes, please, Your Honor. That's the client's druthers, and the client is located in Grand Junction.
Okay, I'm going to plan on an in-person in Grand Junction then, and ask people to travel out there. I think that's more convenient for Mr. Valentine's clients, as well as the other witnesses, perhaps not your client, Mr. Baskerville, but it sounds like all the witnesses you'd be calling are out there. Hopefully weather in March won't be too bad, but who knows?
That's fine.
And that it'll be with the understanding that if things are looking really, weather treacherous, I would ask that you be willing, and I would probably issue an order to switch it to online at the last minute. If that, if this weather's forecast is suddenly predicting 2 feet in the mountains, that I'm not willing to do, I'll be honest. So as long as we understand that, let's set it for in person. But if the weather's really, really bad, I think we'd be doing all of ourselves and CDOT a favor by not heading out there if we don't need to. Okay, now I've got the week of March 18th up. That week would work for me. Or hearing that week. The week of April 8th.
I technically have a trial the week of April 8th, although I don't think it's actually going to go.
Do you want to have, so is the week of March 18th then bad for you? You're going to be prepping?
No, March 18th is great. Actually, I'm going out of town on Friday, but
Okay.
I could do the 18th, 19th, or 20th with a preference for earlier in the week.
Okay. Tuesday, March 19th works on my calendar quite well. Mr. Valentine, would that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so evidentiary hearing in person Tuesday, March 18th. Now, understand that I do have to check with CDOT's calendar. This would be held at CDOT's offices in Grand Junction. They're very generous and let us use their space without charge. But I have to confirm with them, that it is available for Tuesday, March 19th. Let me be clear. Tuesday, March 19th in Grand Junction. And we would be starting at 9 a.m. All right.
Great.
Okay. Now, let me pull this. I'm working backwards from that. Let's get some other dates on the calendar so that we know when exhibits need to be exchanged, exhibits and exhibit lists. So if we do Tuesday, March 19th as the hearing date, how about Tuesday, February 27th would be I'm working backwards, by the way. Tuesday, February 27th would be the date for supplemental witness and exhibits. February 6th for interveners, witnesses and exhibits. And January 16th, which is the day after MLK Day, January 16th would be the deadline for applicants, witnesses, and exhibits. Okay, so let me go over that again because I did do it backwards, I understand. So Tuesday, January 16th would be the deadline for applicant MedRide to file its pre-marked exhibits, its witness lists, and its exhibit lists. Intervenor Tasco or Sunshine Taxi needs to submit its pre-marked exhibits, witness lists, and exhibit lists by February 6th. And MedRide then will have an opportunity to file any additional or supplemental witness and exhibit lists and any supplemental exhibits by February 27th. Evidentiary hearing will shoot for Tuesday, March 19th, pending approval with CDOT. And then the only other date we need to figure out is statements of position. Do you want 2 or 3 weeks for those?
Let's see. I would prefer 3 weeks, Your Honor, just because I'm going to be out of town for one of those weeks.
You and me both, Mr. Valentine. I think spring break falls right in between there. So,
Yes, indeed.
so do you want to say April 9th or April 12th? April 12th is the Friday. I don't know if you want that week. It's fine with me.
Either's fine with me, Mr. Baskerville.
Either's fine with me.
All right. Well, let's just say April 9th then. It's a Tuesday, but it would give me that week then to take a look at them and maybe get started on things. Okay?
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's great because I just noticed I was looking at the wrong dates and I'm going to be out of town in between there as well. So April 12th is better.
April 12th? Okay. So Friday, April 12th. That's perfectly fine. All right. Let me confirm it one more time and make sure everybody's on the same page about this. I've got January 16th for applicants, witnesses, and exhibits, February 6th for interveners, witnesses, and exhibits, February 27th, supplemental witness and exhibits, March 19th for the hearing, knock on wood, and statements of position by April 12th. Sound good?
Yes.
Thank you, Your
All right.
Honor. That's great.
Okay. All right. Anything else you wish to discuss right now, or any other questions anyone has while we're still on the hearing, while we're still on the call?
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Baskerville, do you have time later this week?
To chat, I do, sure. Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday would be good.
Okay, that's great. I'll try to give you a call tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. In the meantime, I will be contacting CDOT and confirm that they can do March 19th. So, and if that's a problem, would you prefer that we convene another pre-hearing conference to try and find another date? Or do you want me to just pick another date that week if they've got something else available? You said you're out Friday, but other than that.
Yeah, I'm going to Europe on Friday. So Thursday, Friday would be, I can't do it on Thursday and fly to France on Friday. So, but
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is fine. You could just choose
Okay.
about those three.
Okay. Well, we'll shoot for the 19th. I suspect it'll be fine. She indicated to me when I spoke with her that the calendar was fairly open on their end. But in the event that there's a problem, I'll see if I could get that Monday or Wednesday. All right.
Great. Thank you.
Great.
All right. Thank you both. It's a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Baskerville. Nice seeing you, Mr. Valentine. I hope you both had a nice holiday, and we are adjourned.
Great.
Pleasure
Thank
meeting
you.
you as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.